Marina clutched her 7 months pregnant belly and stepped up to a sharp-looking businessman's table. "Excuse me, sir," she said, her voice shaking from cold and hunger. "Is there anything you're not going to eat?" Alexander Sanders stopped cutting into his $600 prime ribeye and looked up. Standing before him was a young pregnant woman, her clothes soaked and torn. Her eyes brimmed with tears and raw desperation. "How long has it been since you ate?" Alexander asked, feeling something unfamiliar stir in his chest. 3 days, sir. I swear I'm not an addict or anything. It's just, I lost my job when they found out I was pregnant," Marina answered, touching her swollen stomach. The entire Manhattan steakhouse fell silent. Wealthy diners set down their forks and stared. Some whispered to each other with curled lips. "How disgusting," a woman dripping in jewelry said. "How do they let people like that in here?" "Look at her, just another con artist," muttered a man in a suit. "I bet she isn't even really pregnant." Anger rose in Alexander against the people around him. He looked back at Marina and saw that she was trembling, not only from the cold, but also from shame. "Sit here beside me," Alexander said, pulling out a chair. "Waiter, please bring another plate for my guest." The waiter blanched. "Mr. Sanders, she can't stay here," he hissed under his breath. "She'll scare off the other clients." "I said bring another plate," Alexander repeated, louder. "And add a very sweet orange juice while you're at it." Marina could hardly believe it. No one had ever been kind to her like this. "Are you sure? I'm very dirty and wet," she whispered. "You're fine. You just need help," Alexander replied. "What's your name?" "Marina, sir. Marina Davis." "Marina, I'm Alexander, and today you're going to eat whatever you want." When the waiter returned with a scowl and set down the plate, Marina began to eat slowly. Every bite tasted like the best food in the world. Alexander watched, his heart tightening. "Marina, where do you live?" he asked. "On the street, sir. I sleep under the overpass when it doesn't rain," she said between bites. "And the baby's father?" Marina stopped eating and lowered her head. "He ran when he found out I was pregnant. Said he wouldn't support the child of some girl from the slums." Alexander's jaw clenched. How could anyone abandon a pregnant woman? "Marina, do you have family?" "No, sir. My mom died of cancer when I was 16. I've been on my own ever since." Alexander looked into Marina's eyes and saw something he hadn't seen in a long time. A real person, with pain and with dreams, so different from the fake people he knew. "Marina, I want to make you a proposal," he said. "What kind of proposal, sir?" she asked, wary. Everyone who ever proposed something to her wanted something in exchange. "I have a big, empty house. You can stay there until the baby is born. Nothing weird, just a safe place." Marina began to cry. "Why would you do that for me? You don't even know me." "Because everyone deserves a chance, and because I can help." Marina gripped Alexander's hand. "Thank you, sir. God sent you to save me." Alexander was being saved too. For years he'd felt empty despite his millions. Now, watching Marina eat with gratitude, he felt life click into place with purpose. "Shall we?" he asked, signaling for the check. "To your house?" Marina asked, still doubtful. "To our house," Alexander corrected. They left the restaurant in the rain. Alexander draped his expensive suit jacket over Marina's shoulders. People on the sidewalk gaped at the millionaire businessman helping a pregnant homeless woman. They climbed into the luxury car. Marina had never felt leather that soft. "Marina, I want you to know something," Alexander said as he drove. "What?" "From this day forward, you're not a homeless woman. You're a mother-to-be, and you deserve respect." Marina cried with emotion. For the first time in months, she felt hope. For the first time in years, Alexander felt he was doing something that mattered. They arrived at a mansion on Manhattan's Upper East Side. Marina was stunned. The house was larger than anything she'd ever imagined. "My God," she whispered. "How does anyone live alone in a place this big?" Alexander pulled into the garage and glanced at Marina. He suddenly understood how empty his life had been. So much money, no love. So much success, no joy. "I think I'm the one who's going to be saved here," he whispered softly. They went inside. Marina stared, mouth open. Pricey artwork, luxury furniture, a marble staircase. "Use any room you like," Alexander said. "There's food in the fridge, and you can take a hot shower." "I don't know how to thank you," Marina said, touching her belly. "The baby's already moving more since I ate. I think it's happy." Alexander smiled for the first time in a long while. "Tomorrow we'll go for a full prenatal checkup and buy new clothes." "That would be expensive," Marina protested. "Marina, I earn in a day more money than you've ever seen. Let me take care of you both." That night, Marina took her first hot shower in months and cried with gratitude under the water. Alexander lay awake thinking about how life had changed in a matter of hours. He'd always thought happiness could be purchased. Now he knew it came from helping others. Marina stepped out in a plush robe, looked in the mirror, and didn't recognize herself. Clean, with washed hair, she looked like a different person. "Marina, you okay?" Alexander called from the hall. "Yes, sir. Thank you for everything." "Stop calling me sir. Call me Alexander." Marina lay down on the softest bed of her life, placed a hand on her stomach, and whispered to the baby, "My child, our life is going to change. This man is an angel." But at 3 in the morning, a terrible pain gripped her belly, unlike anything she'd felt. She screamed for help, and Alexander came running in pajamas. "Marina, what is it?" "My stomach hurts badly. Something's wrong with the baby." She groaned. Panicked, Alexander scooped her up and ran to the car. "Hold on, we're going to the hospital now." On the way, Marina screamed in the back seat. Alexander drove through red lights. "Hang on, Marina, we're almost there," he said, seeing her pale face in the rearview mirror. "Alexander, if I die, promise you'll take care of my baby," she whispered. "You're not going to die. I won't let that happen." They reached the hospital. "Help her! She's pregnant and in severe pain!" Alexander shouted to the nurses. Doctors rushed Marina into a wheelchair and sped into the ER. Alexander paced the corridor, more anxious than he'd ever been. An hour later, an eternity, the doctor emerged. "Doctor, how is she?" Alexander asked, grabbing the physician's sleeve. "Sir, I need to speak with you about something serious," the doctor said, face grave. Alexander's heart turned to ice. "The young woman is stable now, but we discovered something during the tests you need to know. Let's go to my office." "What is it, doctor? Tell me." "Mr. Sanders, she's not 7 months pregnant as she believed. She's at 9 months. The baby could come at any moment." Alexander reeled. "What? She told me 7. "There's more," the doctor continued, studying Alexander. "During the ultrasound, we saw the baby as a girl." The doctor glanced at the chart, his brows knitting together, before he looked at Alexander. "The mother's condition is quite serious. She's very frail. Months of poor nutrition have taken a toll on her body. Her blood levels are dangerously low, and it's giving us reason to worry." He paused, softening his tone. "But surprisingly, the baby is doing well. Strong heartbeat, steady movement. She's holding on and ready to be delivered any moment." The doctor adjusted the ultrasound monitor and turned it toward Alexander. For a split second, time seemed to halt. On the screen, the tiny figure moved, full of life. Alexander's breath caught in his throat. His chest tightened, not with sorrow or confusion, but with something deeper, an overwhelming tenderness he hadn't expected. He knew this child was not his by blood, yet the sight of her small, fluttering heartbeat pulled something fierce and protective from within him. He swallowed hard, quietly thanked the doctor, and left the room, his steps heavier than before. When he opened the door to Marina's hospital room, he found her curled on her side, clutching the sheets as another contraction ripped through her. Her face twisted with pain, but the moment she saw him, she forced herself upright. "Is the baby okay? Tell me the truth. Nothing's wrong, is it?" Her voice trembled, almost breaking. Alexander's stern expression softened into a smile as he shook his head. He stepped closer, lowering his tone as though to reassure both her and himself. "She's fine, perfectly fine. It's you we're worried about, Marina. You're 9 months along, and you haven't had proper checkups. You didn't take care of yourself." Her gaze fell to her trembling hands. Tears welled, slipping down before she could wipe them away. "I tried," she whispered, voice breaking. "But life hasn't exactly been kind to me. I've done what I could." He pulled a chair closer, his presence steady against the chaos of her pain. "You're in labor," he told her gently. "That's why everything hurts so much. But soon, you'll hold your baby. And all of this will be worth it." Marina lifted her eyes, wet with tears, but shining faintly with gratitude. "I don't know how I'll ever repay you for this, for staying by me, for being so kind when you didn't have to." Alexander's lips curved into a small smile, though his voice wavered. "You don't need to repay me. You're like family now. And if you'll let me—" He paused, nerves tugging at him as his heart raced. "I'd love to be her godfather." Her lips trembled, and then she smiled through the tears. "I'd love that," she whispered, just before another contraction tore through her body. Nurses rushed in, swiftly lowering the bed rails and preparing to wheel her toward the delivery room. "Sir, your wife is due. Do you want to come in with her?" one nurse asked briskly. Alexander froze for a fraction of a second. Wife. The word wasn't true, not in the legal or romantic sense, but in that moment it didn't matter. His heart answered before his mind could. "Yes," he said firmly, falling into step beside the gurney. "Yes, I'm coming with her." And with that, he followed Marina into the unknown, his heart already tethered to a child who wasn't his, yet already felt like his own. Back in the recovery room, Alexander lifted the baby. "Hi, Hope. Your godfather is going to make sure you have everything you need." A week later, Marina and Hope were home recovering. Alexander had turned an entire room into a nursery. "Alexander, you spent a fortune on this," Marina said, taking in the custom furniture. "Money isn't the issue. I want Hope to have the best. You're too good to us. You two changed my life. I used to be just a rich, lonely man. You're my chosen family." "Can I ask you something?" she asked. "Anything." "Why did you never marry? A rich, handsome man like you?" Alexander flushed. "I never found someone who truly loved me. They loved my money." "I get it. Must be hard knowing who's genuine." "And you? Did you ever have a serious boyfriend before Hope's father?" "Yes. I dated a guy named Carlos for 2 years. He died in a motorcycle accident." "I'm so sorry. Did you love him?" "Very much. I was going to marry him. Hope's father. That was a stupid mistake. I was grieving and ended up with the wrong guy." Alexander's heart ached for her. "Marina, you deserve someone who truly loves you." "And you deserve that too," she said. Hope began to cry, and Marina went to nurse her. "Alexander, thank you for everything." "Stop thanking me. We're family." A month later, Marina looked stronger and radiant. A stable life had changed her completely. "Alexander, I want to get a job," she said over breakfast. A job? You don't need to work. I do. I can't depend on you forever. Marina, you're raising hope. That's work. I still want my independence. Alexander thought a moment. Then come work with me at the company. At your company? Doing what? Be my personal assistant. I'll teach you everything. Seriously? You'd hire me? Of course. I trust you more than anyone. On her first day, Marina was nervous. What if I mess up? You won't. You're smart. She wore elegant outfits Alexander had bought. She looked polished and confident. Good morning, everyone. This is Marina, my new assistant, Alexander announced. Staff exchanged surprised glances. It was the first time he'd ever hired someone without experience. During the meeting, Marina focused intently. Alexander, I didn't understand that section of the contract, she whispered. I'll explain afterward, he murmured back. Afterward, a manager named Richard approached. Hi, Marina. I'm Richard, the finance manager. Nice to meet you. You're very beautiful. Want to have lunch with me? She blushed. Thanks, but I can't. I have to take care of my daughter. You have a daughter, and you're so young? I do, a 2-month-old. She's home with the nanny. Richard pressed on. We could go out another day. Alexander appeared at that moment. Richard, I need Marina for an important meeting. Richard backed off, annoyed. In Alexander's office, Marina exhaled. Thanks for rescuing me. You never have to go out with anyone just to be polite, he said. I know, I just don't want trouble at work. If anyone bothers you, tell me. You really do protect me, she said, smiling. I'll always protect you and Hope. That afternoon, Alexander showed her how the company worked. We build luxury high-rises and homes. We have projects across the country. How much do you make a month? Marina asked curiously. More than $10 million, he said, matter-of-factly. Marina's jaw dropped. 10 million a month? No wonder you never worry about money. At day's end, they drove home together. How was day 1? He asked. Great, I learned a lot. Tomorrow will be easier. At home, Marina bathed Hope, while Alexander cooked dinner. It smells amazing. What did you make? Lasagna. Hope you like it. Over dinner, Marina beamed. You cook better than I do. Can I ask something personal? She ventured. Sure. Do you miss having someone special in your life? Alexander hesitated. Sometimes, especially when I see you with Hope. You two are a real family. You're part of our family too. It's not the same, Marina. Why not? Because I want someone who loves me as a man, not just as a friend or brother. Marina flushed. I understand. Do you still miss Carlos? He asked gently. I do, but the pain is fading. Caring for Hope helps. Do you want to date someone new? I don't know. Depends on the person. Their eyes held a beat too long. Marina, Alexander said softly. What? Nothing. Forget it. But she felt something shifting between them and didn't know if that was good or bad. You were going to say something, she pressed. It's better if I don't. Please, say it. He drew a breath. Marina, I think I'm falling in love with you. She lost her breath. Alexander. What? I know it's wrong. You're like family to me, but I can't control it. This complicates everything. I know. That's why I didn't want to say it. She stood. I need to think. Please don't be angry. I'm not angry, just confused. That night, neither of them slept. The next day, they were awkward. Good morning, Marina, Alexander said without meeting her eyes. Morning, she murmured. At work, they barely spoke. Richard noticed. You okay? You seem down. I'm fine, Richard. Thanks. Want to talk? It helps. Marina glanced toward Alexander's office. Can I ask you something? Hypothetically, if someone you consider family fell in love with you, what would you do? Depends, Richard said. Do you feel anything for that person too? For the first time, Marina wondered if she did. I don't know, it's confusing, she said. Here's my 2 cents. Richard smiled. Love doesn't pick convenient targets. If you feel it, it isn't wrong. What if it ruins everything? What if the friendship ends? Or maybe something better starts, he shrugged. At lunch, Alexander asked, Can we talk? Okay, she said, nervous. They went to a nearby restaurant but barely ate. About last night, he began. You don't have to explain. I do. I don't want you uncomfortable. I'm not just confused. I thought all night and decided I'll forget what I feel. A sharp pain pricked her chest. Why? Because our friendship matters more. You and Hope are my family. I can't risk losing you. You won't lose us. I could. If I keep feeling like this, one day I might do something foolish. What if I told you I'm falling too? She whispered. That sounds like gratitude, not love. At first it was gratitude. Now it's different. Different how? When you said you were falling for me, I felt afraid, but not of you. Afraid I might feel the same. Silence stretched. Are you sure? He asked. I am. Lately I look at you differently. That could just be loneliness. You've been through so much. Maybe. Or maybe I'm falling for the most incredible man I've ever met. He took her hand. What if it doesn't work? What if we ruin everything? What if it does? What if we're happy? He smiled for the first time that day. Do you want to try? I do, but slowly. Slowly, he agreed. They returned to the office, holding hands. Co-workers whispered. Wow, the boss is dating the new assistant, one murmured. So fast. Richard saw Marina's smile. Looks like my advice worked. It did, thank you. That night, hand in hand, they went home more united than ever. How will we tell Hope when she's older? Marina joked. We'll say Mom and Dad met in a restaurant and it was love at first sight. That's not a lie, she teased. Did you really fall for me at first sight? When I saw you soaking wet and pregnant, I felt something I'd never felt. What was it? That you were going to change my life forever. At home, Marina bathed Hope, while Alexander cooked. Do you want more kids? She asked suddenly, walking up behind him in the kitchen. He almost dropped the pan. Where did that come from? Because Hope will want siblings, and you'd be an amazing dad. You want more kids with me? Yes, but only after you marry me. She laughed. You're proposing to me, Marina Davis. I am. Do you accept, Alexander Sanders? He abandoned the stove and hugged her. I accept, but only if you accept my proposal too. He took a small box from a cabinet. I bought this yesterday when I realized I loved you. Inside was the most beautiful ring Marina had ever seen. When did you buy this? After work yesterday. I went to the jeweler and asked for the best they had. I had Hope, like our daughter's name. Tears filled her eyes. I'll marry you. He slipped the ring onto her finger. We're a real family now. The following week, Alexander met with the jeweler to choose wedding bands. Pick anything you like, he told Marina. These cost a fortune. Forget the price. Choose what you want to wear for life. She chose a simple, elegant band. This one. You're sure? There are flashier ones. A beautiful ring is the one given with love. The jeweler smiled. You two make a lovely couple. On the way back, Alexander asked, What kind of wedding do you want? Simple, just us, Hope, and a few people. Can I throw a big party? I want the world to know you're my wife. That'll be so expensive. Please stop worrying about money. I want the best wedding in the world for you. Okay, just don't go overboard. Alexander hired the best event company in New York. I want everything perfect. White flowers, live music, top-notch food. How many guests, Mr. Sanders? 500. Marina balked. 200? I don't even know 20. They're my friends, business partners, employees, suppliers. Will they accept me? I used to be homeless. Anyone who doesn't accept you isn't my friend. On the wedding day, Marina was stunning in her gown. I've never felt so beautiful, she said, staring at her reflection. The makeup artist and stylist had transformed her. You're perfect, Alexander said in his tuxedo. The ceremony took place in one of the most beautiful churches in the city. Hope rested in the arms of a nanny Alexander had hired. Marina, Alexander said at the altar, you changed my life completely. I promise to love and care for you and hope forever. Alexander, she replied, you pulled me out of darkness and brought me into the light. I promise to make you happy every day of my life. You may kiss, the priest said, and Alexander kissed her with such tenderness that the guests applauded through tears. At the reception, Marina was anxious among so many wealthy people. I don't know how to talk to these folks, she whispered. Just be yourself. Everyone already loves you, he assured her. Not everyone did. In corners, some rich women whispered, Look, he married a former homeless girl. I bet she got pregnant on purpose to trap him. Rich men can be so naive. Marina heard and wilted. Alexander noticed. What's wrong? Your friends are mocking me, she said, nodding toward a group. He strode over. Ladies, is there a problem? We were just discussing your wedding, one said, coolly. I hope discussing means being kind to my wife. Of course, she lied. Throughout the night, people approached Marina with veiled barbs. How did you snag Alexander? One woman asked. He snagged me, Marina replied. Ah, clever. By the end of the night, Alexander and Marina left for their honeymoon at the most expensive hotel on Miami's South Beach. Today was the happiest day of my life, Marina said in the presidential suite. Our happy life is just beginning, Alexander said. I'm scared, she admitted. What if I'm not a good wife? What if your friends don't accept me? You're perfect as you are, and if anyone can't accept you, that's their problem. They hit the beach, dined at elite restaurants, and took a helicopter tour. This feels like a dream, Marina said on the sand. It's our reality now, Alexander said. Promise you'll never get tired of me? Never. I love you more than anything. But back in New York, not everyone was happy. Richard, the finance manager who'd eyed Marina, was furious. I can't believe she married the boss. She should have been with me. A circle of wealthy women who knew Alexander began plotting. We have to show Alexander who Marina really is. How? I'll hire a private investigator. I bet her past is dirty. Beatrice Allen picked up her phone. Mark, I need a favor. Investigate a woman named Marina Davis, Alexander Sanders' new wife. What do you want to know? Everything. Where she lived, who she dated, how she bagged Alexander. I'm sure she isn't who she claims to be. I'll investigate, Ms. Allen. I'll have everything in a week. Beatrice hung up with a cold smile. She'd always wanted Alexander and refused to accept that he'd married a former homeless woman. Marina, you don't know who you're messing with, she muttered in her luxury penthouse. I'll destroy your marriage, and then Alexander will see I'm the right woman for him. A week after the honeymoon, Alexander got a strange call at the office. Alexander Sanders, said an unfamiliar male voice. Yes, who is this? Private investigator Mark Peters. I need to talk to you about your wife. Alexander stiffened. What about my wife? I was hired to dig into her past, and I found things you need to see. Who hired you? I can't say, but I can meet you this afternoon and show you. Alexander's stomach knotted. What kind of things? Better in person, 3 p.m. at Central Cafe. He agreed, then spent the morning unsettled. Marina noticed. Are you okay? You seem worried. I'm fine, work stuff. Sure, you barely spoke to me. Just an important meeting. We'll talk later. At 3 p.m., Alexander arrived. Mark sat in a corner with a folder. Say it, Alexander demanded. Mark opened the file of photos and documents. Your wife lied about several things. What lies? First, she didn't live solely on the streets. She had a room in a housing project up until 2 months before meeting you. Alexander looked at the photos of Marina entering and leaving a run-down building. And that means what? That she wasn't as desperate as she claimed. She had somewhere to stay. Even if that's true, it changes nothing. She needed help. There's more. She had a boyfriend until a week before she met you. How? Mark showed photos of Marina with a young man. This is Tyler, her ex. They broke up because he found out she was hunting for a rich man to con. Alexander's chest squeezed. Do you have proof? I spoke with neighbors. They all said Marina bragged she'd find a wealthy husband and fix her life. That can't be true. There's more. The baby's father didn't run off as she told you. What do you mean? Hope's father is Tyler, and he didn't know about the baby. Marina never told him. Alexander went pale. You're saying Hope's father is alive and searching for them? Exactly. He wants to meet his child. Why would Marina lie about that? She planned everything from day one, Mark said. She knew you dined at that restaurant every Friday. How would she know that? She worked nights as a cleaner in an office nearby and watched you arrive at the same time. Alexander's world shook. Are you sure? I have everything here, even screenshots of Marina texting friends about how she'd approach you. He showed messages. Today's the day. I'll pretend I'm starving outside his restaurant. If this works, I'll never be poor again. Wish me luck. I'm going to be a millionaire's wife. Tears stung Alexander's eyes. She really planned it. I'm sorry. If it were me, I'd confront her. Alexander returned home heartbroken. Marina was playing with Hope. Hi, love. How was the meeting? She asked, smiling. We need to talk, he said, unable to hide his sadness. Okay, let me put Hope in her crib. She came back and sat, nervous. You're scaring me. What is it? I want the truth, your past. I told you everything. Did you really live on the street, or did you have a room in the projects? She went white. Why are you asking that? Answer. I stayed in the projects, yes, but I had to leave. Why did you lie? Because I thought you wouldn't help me if you knew I had a roof over my head. He exhaled. What else? Nothing. Did Hope's father run, or did you never tell him you were pregnant? She began to cry. Where are you getting this? Answer. I was going to tell Tyler, but he broke up with me first. So you lied about that too? I was afraid you wouldn't accept me. You deceived me from the first day. She stood, sobbing. I love you. That's not a lie. How can I tell what's true? At the start it was a plan, but then I fell in love with you for real. You planned to trick me. Listen to me. I was poor and desperate. I wanted a better life for me and my daughter. So it was all a lie? Our marriage? Your love? No. My love is real. I need time to think. You're abandoning me, she pleaded. I don't know. I need to process this. Where will I go with Hope? You can stay here. I'll go to a hotel. Please don't go. I need to be alone. He packed a bag and left. Marina collapsed on the couch with Hope in her arms. Baby, Mommy messed up. Daddy Alexander left because of me. That night, he stayed in a luxury hotel and didn't sleep. Neither did Marina. On day 3, he came back to get more clothes. The doorbell rang as they argued. A young man stood there. "Good afternoon. Are you Alexander Sanders?" "I am, and you are?" "Tyler Smith, Hope's father." Marina froze. "Tyler, what are you doing here?" "I came to see my daughter. I heard you had her and never told me." Alexander's eyes burned. "So it's true. You hid the pregnancy." "I can explain," Marina said. "Stop lying," Alexander snapped. Tyler stepped inside, looking around. "Wow, fancy place. You really did marry a millionaire." "How did you find me?" Marina asked. "A friend from the projects told me you were living with a rich guy." Alexander's anger deepened. "So even your friends knew about your plan?" "It's not like that," Marina protested. Tyler saw Hope in the crib. "She's beautiful, looks just like me as a baby." "Are you sure you're the father?" Alexander asked. "I am. Marina was my girlfriend up until 2 months ago." 2 months? You told me it had been longer," Alexander said to Marina. "I was confused about dates," she said weakly. "Stop lying," he said. Tyler lifted Hope. "Hey, sweetheart, Daddy's here." "Don't take her," Marina cried. "She's my daughter." "She's our daughter. I have a right to see her." Alexander took a breath. "Let's handle this civilly. Sit, both of you." "What do you want?" he asked Tyler. "I want to know my child and be part of her life." "Marina, why didn't you tell him?" Alexander asked. "He broke up with me and he's unemployed. He couldn't help," she said. "Even so, I had the right to know," Tyler said. "Alexander, thanks for taking care of my daughter." Jealousy stabbed Alexander as he watched Tyler hold Hope. "Do you want custody?" "I don't want to take her from Marina, but I want visits and to contribute." "Can you?" Alexander asked. "I got a job as a mechanic. I don't make much, but I can pay support." "What do you think?" Marina asked Alexander. He was torn. He loved Hope as his own, but he'd learned the truth and still reeled from Marina's lies. "You two need to work this out," he said quietly. "You won't weigh in?" Marina asked. "Hope isn't my child. It's your decision." Marina sobbed. "You always said she was your daughter." "I said that when I thought you were telling the truth." Tyler looked between them. "Are you two fighting because of me?" "No," Alexander said, "because Marina lied about many things." "Marina, is that true?" Tyler asked, stunned. "I made mistakes," she whispered, "but my love for Alexander is real now." "Marina, you were always too ambitious," Tyler said sadly. "I thought you were joking about marrying a rich man." "Don't judge me. You know how my life was." "Using people isn't the answer." Tyler stood with Hope. "I should take her for a few days. You two need to sort this out." "You can't take my baby," Marina cried. "She's my baby too, and this house is too tense for an infant." "Where do you live?" Alexander asked. "A small studio, simple but clean. I can care for her for a few days." "Please don't let him take Hope," Marina begged. "Maybe it's best," Alexander said gently. "We are both too upset." "You're taking his side?" "I'm thinking of Hope." Tyler gathered the baby's things. "I'll take good care of her. You can visit any time." "Give me your address," Alexander said. "Of course." When Tyler left with Hope, Marina collapsed to the floor, sobbing. "He took our daughter." "She isn't ours," Alexander said, aching. "She's yours and his. Do you not love me anymore?" He looked at her weeping on the floor and felt pity, but anger still outweighed it. "I don't know what I feel." "Give me a chance to earn back your trust," she pleaded. "How can I trust you again?" "I'll prove my love is real." "How?" "I'll give up everything, the house, the money, the credit cards. I'll just have you. That proves nothing. It could be desperation. Then tell me what to do, he thought. If you truly want to earn my trust, do exactly what I say for 3 months. What do you want? First, go back to working as a cleaner. Second, live in a simple apartment I'll rent. Third, you'll have no access to my money. She stared. You want to humiliate me? No. I want to see if you love me when there's nothing to gain. And if I accept, if you show you've changed and that your love is genuine, I'll consider forgiving you. She realized it was her only chance. Okay, I accept. Alexander wasn't sure if she'd truly change, or if this was another plan, but he was willing to find out. Marina didn't know if she could live without comfort and money, but she was willing to try for love. That same night, Beatrice celebrated with her friends in her penthouse. Ladies, my plan worked perfectly. Alexander now knows who Marina really is. Do you think they'll split? One asked. Absolutely. A man like Alexander doesn't forgive betrayal. When he's alone and hurting, I'll be there. And if they reconcile? They won't, but if they try, I have another card to play. What card? Beatrice smiled wickedly. I found out Marina has a twin sister no one knows about, and that sister will do anything to destroy Marina's life. The next day, Alexander rented a modest apartment in Queens for Marina. It has 1 bedroom, a small living room, kitchen, and bath. It's what you need. Marina looked around the tiny place. After months in a mansion, it felt like a matchbox. It's fine, I accept. Here's the key. You'll get $2,000 a month for basics. Only $2,000? I used to spend that in a day. Now you'll learn the value of money and work for the rest. Where will I work? I found you a job with a cleaning company. You start at 6 a.m. tomorrow. She wanted to cry but held it in. Okay, I'll show you I've changed. Remember, 3 months. If you prove yourself, we'll talk about us. Can I visit Hope? You'll have to arrange that with Tyler. She's your child together. Alexander left, and Marina stood alone for the first time in months. She looked around the tiny apartment and began to cry. My God, what have I done? I lost everything because of my lies. On day 1, Marina woke at 5 a.m., something she wasn't used to. I'm so tired. How will I keep this up? She put on simple clothes Alexander had bought and went to the cleaning company. You, Marina? Asked a woman around 50. Yes, ma'am. I'm Connie, the supervisor. You're with me today. Marina spent the day scrubbing offices. Her hands turned red from scouring floors. My back hurts, she groaned. Not used to hard work, huh? Connie said kindly. No, ma'am, it's been a while. You'll get used to it. Everyone does. Exhausted, Marina returned home and collapsed. Alexander, will you really forgive me if I do this for 3 months? That same day, Tyler tried to soothe the crying Hope in his studio. Daddy's learning diapers. Be patient with me. She cried hard, unused to him. Shh, baby. I'm here now. He called Marina. Hope is crying a lot. I think she misses you. Can I come see her? Yes. Marina took the bus to Tyler's place. She felt a pang seeing the cramped room where her daughter now lived. This place is tiny, she said, sad. It's what I can afford, but it's clean and full of love. Marina picked up Hope, and the baby quieted instantly. My girl, Mommy missed you. You can visit every day if you want, Tyler said. Thank you, that's kind. Do you really love Alexander, or was it just about money? He asked gently. At first it was about money, she admitted, but I fell in love with him for real. Do you think he'll forgive you? I don't know, but I'll try. Meanwhile, Alexander tried to work, but couldn't focus. You have a call, his secretary said. Beatrice Allen. Alexander answered. Beatrice. I heard you and Marina are having problems, she purred. Want company? Who told you that? Everyone's talking. Don't be alone at a time like this. Let me help. Thanks, but I need to handle this myself. Beatrice hung up, seething. He's still in love with that woman. By week 2, Marina was adjusting to hard work. I'm getting faster, she told Connie. That's right, Connie said. Can I give you advice? Please. True love forgives, but there has to be real repentance. How does someone prove they've changed? With actions, not words. Marina took this to heart. Each evening she visited Hope. Tyler noticed the difference. Do you still like money? He teased. Of course, who doesn't? But I learned money without love is worthless. In week 3, Marina heard a voice identical to her own at work. Marina. She turned and saw a woman who looked exactly like her. My God, who are you? I'm Marissa, the woman said. Your twin sister. Marina reeled. A twin? That's impossible. We need to talk. There's a lot you don't know about our family. How did you find me? I've been looking for years. I heard you married a rich man. Marina narrowed her eyes. What do you want? To meet my sister and help you. Marina stared at the woman who looked exactly like her. I can help you, Marissa said smoothly. Win back your husband. How do you know about that? Marina demanded. I have contacts. I know everything. I was raised by a wealthy family upstate. I had the life you wanted. Now I want to share it. Share it how? We switch places. I'll be you, and I'll make him fall in love again. That's insane. It's your only chance. He's hurt, but if he sees you through me, confident, different, he'll come back. Why would you do this? Because we're sisters, and because I need money. My family lost everything. Marina hesitated. You're not after my husband for his wealth? No, but if I succeed, you'll help me financially. Before Marina could answer, Marissa added the dagger. Another woman is after him, Beatrice Allen, the one who destroyed your marriage. Marina's chest burned. Beatrice? So, do we have a deal? Marina's fear and jealousy collided. Finally, she whispered, Okay, Marissa, let's do it. But Marissa had already struck a deal with Beatrice. Seduce Alexander, then vanish, leaving him broken. Her reward, $500,000. What she didn't tell Beatrice was that she wanted more than money. She wanted Marina's life. Disguised as Marina, Marissa walked into Alexander's office. You seem different, he said, warily. Maybe I've changed, she smiled. By evening, she was at Lorenzo's, the place where Alexander and Marina had first fallen in love. Over wine and memories, Marissa slipped seamlessly into his world. He felt himself soften. By nightfall, she was in his arms. The more time passed, the deeper Alexander sank into her illusion. Flowers, dinners, stolen kisses, until finally he broke. You don't have to finish the separation, move back in. But Richard, Alexander's colleague, noticed something off. He followed her and saw 2 Marinas. Shocked, he confronted the real one. Marina confessed everything. Richard swore silence, but only if she promised herself to him if Alexander rejected her. Desperate, Marina agreed. Meanwhile, Beatrice pushed for phase 2. Marissa was to destroy Alexander completely. But Marissa was wavering. She wasn't just playing Marina anymore. She was falling for Alexander. When Marina discovered Marissa cradling her daughter Hope, she saw something darker, her twin's affection crossing into obsession. You're falling for him, Marina accused. Marissa denied it, but her eyes told the truth. Beatrice, furious, set a harsher plan in motion. She hired Carl, a ruthless man, to kidnap Marina. Marina was snatched, bound to a chair in a warehouse. Someone paid for you to vanish, Carl sneered. My sister. Not her. Someone worse. Back in the Hamptons, Alexander proposed to Marina again, wanting to renew their vows. Tears filled Marissa's eyes as she said yes, while Marina prayed in the dark, fearing she'd never see her daughter again. When Marissa learned of the kidnapping from Beatrice the next day, she cracked. I'm not who you think. I'm Marissa, your wife's twin. Beatrice has Marina. We need to save her. Alexander's blood ran cold. Together they plotted to outwit Beatrice, but Beatrice gave Carl the final order. Kill her. Marina, trembling, bought her life with a promise, $1 million. Alexander delivered the ransom, freeing her into his arms, but truth couldn't stay hidden. At the police station, Marissa confessed everything. Beatrice hired her, she seduced Alexander, she even fell in love with him. Marina was devastated. You stole my husband. You betrayed me. I didn't mean to, Marissa whispered, tears spilling. But I love him. Alexander tried to soothe the storm. I was deceived. I love you, Marina. Always you. But Marina's trust was shattered. I need time, she said quietly, to both of them. As she walked away, Alexander's heart split between guilt and hope, while Marissa, broken but defiant, still longed for the life she had almost stolen. The next morning, Marina confessed everything to Tyler. He listened in shock. Your sister really did that? She did, Marina whispered. And the worst part is, she says she loves me. And Alex. Alex was deceived, Tyler said carefully. He thought she was you. My head knows that, my heart doesn't. Do you still love him? I do, but I don't know if I can trust him. Tyler lifted Hope into his arms. Look at her. She needs a family. She has one, me and you. Alex cut the cord, fed her bottles at midnight. He's her father in every way that matters. Marina kissed Hope's forehead, torn. My baby, what should Mom do? Hope smiled as if answering. Follow your heart, Tyler said softly. My heart's too loud. I need it to quiet down. At the mansion, breakfast sat cold between Alex and Marissa. Marina won't answer me, Alex muttered. She will. Give her time. I'm afraid I've lost her. She loves us. She'll forgive, Marissa said, though the words sounded like a prayer for herself. The doorbell rang. Alex opened it and froze. Beatrice. Out on no evidence, she said coolly, sweeping inside. Did you miss me? You had my wife kidnapped. You can't prove that, but I can give you the truth about your two women. Marissa stiffened. Don't listen to her. They've been conning you together, Beatrice said sweetly. Marina never loved you. She wanted your money. Marissa agreed to help split it. That's a lie, Marissa snapped. Check her messages, Beatrice said, eyes glittering. Alex turned. Marissa, your phone. Alex, don't. Please. Reluctantly, she handed it over. His face drained as he read. He's completely in love. It'll be easy to get his money. When you come back, we'll split everything 50-50. Explain, he said, voice like stone. Those are old. They're dated yesterday. Beatrice set me up. Enough. Get out. Alex, I love you. Out! Marissa fled in tears. Beatrice stayed, smug. I told you. Alex shut her out too. Alone, he whispered the only thought that mattered. How could I be so naive? Minutes later, Marina arrived. Alex, please. No more lies. He shoved the messages at her. I didn't write these, she gasped. The number's yours. She used my phone. I want a divorce. Alex, I'll sue you both for fraud. She stumbled out in tears and found Marissa sobbing on the sidewalk. What did you do? He saw the messages. I sent them. From your phone. Beatrice forced me. You ruined everything, I panicked, but we can fix this. Record her admitting it. She'll never. She will if we play along. Marina clenched her jaw. Fine, if it saves my marriage, I'll try. The trap was set. You win, Marissa told Beatrice on speaker. Alex kicked me out. Good, Beatrice purred. Now tell him everything was a lie, even Marina's love. Break him. If I can't have him, no one will. That's enough, Marina whispered, ending the call, recorder still running. They raced to Alex. He opened the door, face carved from stone. We have proof, Marina said. She pressed play. Beatrice's venomous voice spilled into the foyer, plotting, admitting everything. When it ended, silence shook the air. She wanted to ruin us, Alex said hollowly. She did ruin us, Marissa whispered, and I helped her, and I deeply regret it. Marina's eyes glistened. We were pawns, Alex. Don't let her win again. His walls cracked. I'm sorry. I let doubt turn me cruel. We all made mistakes, Marina said. He took her hands. Do you want to try again, without secrets this time? Yes, she breathed. No lies, ever. They kissed, and the house felt like home again. 6 months later, vows were renewed in a simple ceremony. Hope giggled in Marina's arms. Tyler smiled beside a new love, and Marissa stood as maid of honor, changed, forgiven, with a kind man by her side. At the altar, Alex whispered, We earned this joy. We did, Marina agreed. As they kissed, Beatrice sat in prison, muttering her bitter refrain. If I can't have him, no one can. But Alex and Marina had finally proven her wrong. Their love survived lies, betrayal, and fire, and what remained was stronger, steadier, and real. The end. Thank you all for watching. This is Mr. Hope. I love you all.